So if you watched part 6 and also making a cutscene video, you know now that Sergeant Drake is not going to let things go. He's going to hold a grudge. So it's going to be interesting to see how he, takes his group into town and does all that. But we're going to let that thread hang for a while and move back to the situation with Shreesha and the constable, who has to somehow talk her into going on this mission to try to communicate with the constable's wife, maybe on her own. We'll see.
I understand, Constable. I'm also confident in my abilities. But I'm only a wizard after all. We wizards were not too keen on going out on a limb without any backup.
I know it's a lot to ask, Shreesha, but I think that if you go in alone, you have a much better chance of avoiding any entanglements.
What about taking along a hero or two? I'd feel much The constable interrupts her.
You know, I have immense faith in the heroes, but that could mean several more chances for a slip-up. I think that Blackfang is baiting us with her out there in the open like that. Don't you agree?
She breathes deeply in thought. Well, yes, but I need to think about this then. If you're right, I'll need a solid egress plan. Can you give me the night?
Of course. And thank you, Shreesha. I'm always thanking you, aren't I? But this town would truly be lost without you.
All right, Shreesha is a very agreeable personality. Normally, I'd say it'd be highly likely that she would agree to go and do this mission on her own. I could pull one and just make it likely. Let's see if she goes. Yep, she still goes. So a quick check to see if overnight Blackfang still gives Amber Blifford, the constable's wife, water. Red is the no dice. Yeah, they still give her water. Looking at the Dungeons & Dragons Player's Handbook for 5e. Food. A character can go without food for a number of days equal to 3 plus his or her constitution modifier. It's only been 2 days, so that's not an issue. Water's a bigger issue, but we've checked and she's getting water. It looks like she's okay. She's not going to suffer any exhaustion from that. Quick update to the timeline. On the 26th of Kythorn, which is the next morning, 10 bells, Shreesha goes to inform the constable that she will go on the mission alone. And then we also rolled, Amber Blifford has gone 48 hours without food at that point, but she has received water. Let's go ahead and put this mission on the tabletop. Keep it short, but I think it would be cool. So I'm going to do a bunch of rolls here to determine the layout of the terrain and cover. We'll set the positions of the guards and all that, and see how that goes. So here we go. They want her in a clearing. We'll use this thing to put her on. There's the pole. And then there will be one goblin operating this mechanism right here. Now the question is, will they have her tied to the pole or have her actually have the noose around her neck? Let's stack the probability against her having the noose around her neck, like that. Probably not Blackfang's orders yet. Okay, so it's a maybe. We don't want a maybe. Will the noose be around Amber's neck? Yes. So I figure they probably move her around in this jail cart. Let's figure out where to put this thing. Should it be over here by the pathway? Yep. All right. They'd probably try and get it a little bit off the road here. Maybe like that. This guy here. Something to this effect, I think will work. It'll be nice because it'll give Shreesha some cover from this direction on her approach. Okay, so here we have Murderer's Row. 1 guard on a mount, 3 crossbowmen, and 4 swordsmen. And this one guy here makes 9, I believe, if I counted correctly. And these guys are tasked with a special purpose. Let's roll to find out. Not only can they be in a defensive posture, but if it comes to it, would they actually have a secondary mission of targeting Amber herself if someone was trying to rescue her, trying to get her out of the area? No, Black Fang did not give them that order. I figured this guy would be the sergeant in charge of this little operation here. Maybe he would be sitting right here where he could have a view of everything. These bowmen probably would want to array themselves in a way where if someone were approaching from any of these directions, they would kind of have it covered. This guy here looks like maybe he could be here. These orcs are big, burly. Get 3 more guys to place. Maybe this guy could go and just kind of be hanging out here. Let's roll. Would he be having a conversation with somebody? Kind of not paying attention? No, he would not. All right, so we won't put anybody with him. There's 2 guys left then. Maybe something back here for the flank. Maybe this guy could go here. Would he have a buddy he's talking to? Yeah, he would. So these 2 guys here would be kind of on this side. Maybe just having a conversation or doing whatever orcs would do when it got boring. All right, so there you have it. You have your 9 guards. All we need now is to place Amber. Because of the range of Shreesha's spell, I'm going to change the ground scale from 1 inch equals 5 feet to 1 inch equals 10 feet. So hopefully that'll make it so everything will fit on this kind of small table I have here. Okay, so the message spell is 120 feet. Now that would be 12 inches. So that kind of gives you an idea how close Shreesha's going to have to get, which is perfect. How close she's going to have to get to be able to cast the spell so that Amber can hear her words. Okay, last but not least, we place poor Amber. Now, one thing to remember with this is like these bases basically are going to be 1/2 inch by 1/2 inch now because we've changed the scale. So the miniatures are now a little large, so everything will be 50% smaller. This cart, everything. So that's one thing to keep in mind. Now, the last thing we have to do are place the trees all around this thing. So I'm going to roll up and find out what kind of coverage these trees are going to provide for her when she tries to move into the area. So this will be the west, east, north, and south. I think the best way to do this to make it simple for these trees is, will the trees on this side be full? Will there be a full complement of the edge of the forest right here? Another maybe we don't want. Yes. What about on the north edge? Will that also be full? Yes. Okay, so she's got really good cover from the east and the north. On the west here, same question. No. And then on the south side here, no. So this south and the west are the same. Not the greatest coverage. I'll put some stands that are, broken all through this area here, but these two sides are definitely the best cover for her to approach from. I spoke earlier about the scale distortion. So these stands, what I basically go by is each miniature's head. So this head would fit on a 1/2 inch by 1/2 inch stand. So you don't go by the base itself anymore. You imagine a 1/2 inch by 1/2 inch stand underneath that head. So that helps for targeting and stuff like that, and especially for like a big figure like this. This would probably be a little, probably a 1 inch by 1 inch, I guess, base. Imagine that underneath this miniature's head, and that will help clarify if there's any really close measurements during the game. And that's going to wrap up setup. I'll bring the trees out, and regardless of how difficult or simple the mission is for Shreesha to come here and try and cast message on Amber, everything will be set up for the subsequent rescue mission in any case.